Have you ever picked up a super cheap phone and instantly regretted it? The lag, the terrible camera, the battery that somehow dies before lunch, and that feeling that you just wasted your money. Now here's the real question. What if 2026 finally gave us a budget phone that's actually worth buying? That's where the Infinix Smart 20 enters the conversation. At first glance, it looks like just another low-cost Android phone trying to grab attention with flashy marketing. But after spending time looking at what this phone offers, something surprising happens. You start thinking, wait, this is actually kind of good. And honestly, that's exactly why the Smart 20 might become one of the biggest budget hits of 2026. The first thing that shocked people is the display. Usually, phones in this price range feel cheap the moment you touch them. Low brightness, ugly colors, slow scrolling, the full budget phone experience. But the Smart 20 comes with a huge 6.78-inch display and a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. And trust me, 120Hz on a cheap phone changes everything. Scrolling through TikTok feels smoother. Instagram feels more responsive. Even opening apps feels faster because your eyes see smoother movement everywhere. It gives the illusion of a much more expensive phone. Is it the sharpest display ever? No. It's still HD plus resolution, so if you compare it side by side with a premium AMOLED screen, you'll notice the difference. But here's the thing most people forget. Nobody buying a phone this cheap expects flagship quality. What people want is comfort, smoothness, reliability. And weirdly enough, the Smart 20 delivers that feeling better than many phones in its category. Then there's the design. Budget phones usually scream I'm cheap. Big bezels. Thick plastic. Weird colors. But Infinix actually tried here. The Smart 20 has a surprisingly slim body at just 7.7 mm thick, and the camera design looks modern enough that people might mistake it for a more expensive device from a distance. Even the colors are fun. The orange version especially stands out because most budget phones play it safe with boring black or gray designs. Infinix clearly wanted younger users to feel excited holding this phone, and honestly, that matters more than people think. Because let's be real. A phone isn't just a gadget anymore. It's something you carry all day. Something people see constantly. Something tied to your personality. And for a cheap device, the Smart 20 feels surprisingly modern. Now let's talk performance, the part where budget phones usually fall apart. The phone uses the MediaTek Helio G81 Ultimate processor with 4GB RAM. Now before gamers get angry in the comments. No, this is not a gaming beast. You are not buying this phone to run heavy games on ultra graphics. But for normal people? For students? For casual users? For parents? For someone who just needs a phone that works? It's honestly enough. Social media runs fine. YouTube runs fine. WhatsApp runs fine. Spotify, Chrome, Facebook, TikTok, all perfectly usable. And that's the important part. A lot of people online forget that not everyone needs a $1,000 flagship phone. Most people just want a device that doesn't freeze every 5 seconds. The Smart 20 feels like Infinix finally understood that balance. It's not trying to compete with premium phones. It's trying to make cheap phones less painful to use. And in many ways, they succeeded. Battery life is another area where this phone shines. The Smart 20 packs a 5,200 mAh battery, and for a budget device, that's fantastic. This is the kind of phone you charge overnight and stop worrying about. For light users, it can even last close to 2 days. That matters a lot in 2026 because people are tired of battery anxiety. Nobody wants to carry a power bank everywhere anymore. And because the processor isn't super power hungry, the battery efficiency is actually pretty solid. There's also 15W charging and even reverse wired charging. Imagine charging your earbuds or another small device directly from your cheap phone. That's a feature many expensive phones don't even bother including anymore. And this is where the Smart 20 becomes interesting. It's full of little surprises. You still get a headphone jack. You still get FM radio. You still get expandable storage. Some versions even include NFC and an infrared blaster. It's almost like Infinix looked at modern flagship phones' removing features and said, "Fine. We'll keep them." That's honestly refreshing. Now let's address the weak point. The cameras. This is definitely not a phone for photography lovers. The Smart 20 uses an 8MP rear camera and an 8MP selfie camera. In daylight, photos are acceptable. You can post them on social media. You can video call your friends. You can scan documents. You can capture memories. But once the lighting gets bad, reality hits hard. Night shots become soft. Details disappear. Dynamic range struggles. And honestly, that's okay. At this price point, compromises have to exist somewhere. Infinix clearly chose to prioritize battery life, display smoothness, and everyday usability over camera quality. For most users, that's probably the correct decision. Another surprisingly nice touch is durability. The phone includes IP64 splash resistance and drop resistance up to 1.5 meters. That's actually useful in real life. Because accidents happen. Phones fall. Drinks spill. Rain appears out of nowhere. Having some level of protection on an affordable phone gives peace of mind, especially for students or younger users. And honestly, this is where the Smart 20 feels smarter than many competitors. Instead of chasing fake luxury features nobody needs, it focuses on practical things that actually improve daily life. But there's another side to this conversation we should mention. Software support. Some users online have expressed frustration about long-term updates on Infinix devices. And that's a fair concern. When buying a budget phone, software updates are often one of the biggest sacrifices. So if you expect years of major Android upgrades like Samsung or Apple, this probably isn't the phone for you. But again, context matters. Most people buying the Smart 20 are upgrading from older budget phones that already stopped receiving updates years ago. For them, Android 16 out of the box already feels modern and fresh. And honestly, that's enough for many users. The truth is, phones like the Smart 20 are important for the smartphone industry. Not everyone can afford flagship devices. Not everyone cares about AI photo editing or 8K video recording. Some people just need a reliable phone for school, work, communication, and entertainment. And in 2026, the Smart 20 feels like one of the few budget phones that actually understands that mission. It doesn't pretend to be premium. It doesn't overpromise impossible performance. Instead, it focuses on delivering a smooth everyday experience at a very low price. That's why so many people online are calling it worth it. Because value matters more than specs alone. And honestly, that's something the smartphone market forgot for a while. So, is the Infinix Smart 20 the cheapest phone worth buying in 2026? For many people, the answer is probably yes. If you're a hardcore gamer, mobile photographer, or someone obsessed with flagship performance, this phone won't impress you. But if you want great battery life, smooth scrolling, a big display, modern design, useful everyday features, reliable daily performance, and a very affordable price, then the Smart 20 makes a lot of sense. It's the kind of phone that quietly surprises you. Not because it's revolutionary, but because it avoids being terrible. And honestly, in the ultra-budget smartphone world, that's already a huge win. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more honest tech content like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.